girl who came up here with the Bowie t-shirt and the Corpse Bride tights. Slay. It's another subtle reminder that my life has become fucking incredibly boring ever since I reached 28. This poem is called She Was Eve When We Were Awkward. About 4 years into the friendship, or whatever it had by that stage become, during a chat on our internet porn preferences over badly filtered Americanos in the UCD student cafe, I said to her, I think I enjoyed our friendship more when we used to get coffee and just laugh for 20 minutes. And after a half second of unusual silence from her, those pools of ever-renewing blue eyes of hers almost incisions into my consciousness, I added, that was pretty unique. And then I laughed unbound, and she almost shrugged, and definitely smirked as if to say, this is where I am now. It took some time for me to realise, but it's where I've always been. Unapologetic, as only she could seem to be. And it was, like any tryst, fling, or abandoned half-romance is, utterly unique. Half on the way to becoming something we were going to hang on to, and definitely regret, and half stopped, sulking out of a puddle, dead damp weight created by the differences we made ourselves, for the other to behold and dismantle. The immediate was meant for us. First the attraction, then the disgust, then the despair, then the cursing off, then round to the intrigue all over again. She remained the great question mark of my undergraduate years. Heartaches after her were equally demeaning, but far more easily explained. You know you found someone irreplaceable when they tell you things you know they really shouldn't. Things shoved up in boxes for years, things too unformed to be really caught sounding out in the moments after your first kiss. And every clever undergraduate will tell you how negative all connotations of irreplaceable are. And yet these are the backhanded good graces, the immeasurable gifts that memory serves. I wear this like a wound I can find wry mirth at the very sight of. I have learned all this from her without ever intruding. These memories are indented in a music box with an imitation Sacred Heart, all mine, distempered by the candid lines of a girl who never wanted religion, divulged somewhere in our seat of learning. This poem is a poem of the season. It's called At Halloween. This season is memories of kids whipping past, blowing dead leaves on bike wheels, with hoodies hung upwards and horror-themed masks. A ringing of doorbells and delighted screams rushing towards, and trick-or-treat plunging like fallen bobbed apples into concupiscent ears. With the moon bearing high its dominance of silver contrast, and sand smoke grimaces on a clandestine land, lusty for mischief. All fairy tales begin with a breakup of the family. I'm convinced all horror stories are crying out for old friendships to re-emerge after the gist of mortality begins to sink in. And from when I was a teen, most of my friendships, for better or worse, have centered around attaching my darker thoughts to something concrete, like a list of favorite authors' works or a poster of Robert Smith on my bedroom wall, claiming knowledge to a world established around my own. The stirring fire to keep on going after waking up on frostbitten mornings is not a need to impress with the sense of my own self-determined trudging through rain and seeking lofty self-reward, but in finding people to share the walk home with, bounce cure lyrics back and forth with, and who'll simmer down to a horror film without insisting on my recommendations at Halloween. Cheers.